And it makes me so mad when guys like Joe Manchin get on there and they make up this lie that the parents are taking all the money and then going and spending it on alcohol. And he says that out of his ass. And then you can disprove it. And you could say, look, wait, they don't spend it on alcohol and tobacco. And nothing changes about his opinion.
Well, it's because I think there are so many people listening that already have that bias.
Right.
They're already like, all of these people who take welfare money are free riders. And so they're just going to take the money and spend it on shit that they don't need and that actually makes them worse. And there's going to be some people who hear us talk about this data, this information, who are still going to say the same thing, they're gonna comment on our videos and say that's total bullshit.
Yeah.
Like this is you're totally a plant. And that's fine, but for people in the middle who might naturally be skeptical of what we're saying, I just want you to be just as skeptical of what Joe Manchin says.
Yes.
And just because you can put together in your head, like, yeah, I could see people like I'm cynical and I do things that aren't productive for me sometimes. And I might, I don't know, go out and buy cookies with that money instead of buying a book that would make me better. Sure, I could do the same thing too. But we need to use the data that we do have.
Yes.
Even if it's not completely 100% perfect. It's something, and it's worth it because it is something.
And it's important. Yes, it's just important to be malleable to new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, we are. I think there's been a lot of instances where I've come around on this show to things that I didn't think I was in full support of. I think I'm like totally on board with raising the military budget in some instances to combat China.
Yeah.
I never would have thought that I would ever be for something like that.
Yeah.
Ever.
Totally not.
Did I ever really think I was going to be for the expansion of NATO or anything like that? God, no. I thought NATO was a bloated American imperialist thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that anymore, and it's because of this show.
Yeah.
And I think that there are other issues that we get in on this, that if you're coming at this from a genuine, open-minded point of view, we do a kind of analysis that's very objective.
Yes.
We throw our opinions in there, that's fine. But our method of building our case is a very objective method.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And if people do throw new information at us that will change that opinion, we are open to that.
Yeah.
That's why I think our strength here is we are focusing on problems.
Yes.
Right? We're focusing on solving problems. We're not focusing on winning a game. That's
Right.
a huge difference.
Yes. That's a massive difference. And it's important. I wish that more news was like this.
Yeah.
We say this a lot, but I just wish that there was more analysis like this about these problems instead of just talking heads spewing bullshit.
Well, it's funny because even something like the New York Times, which is like the bastion of not necessarily neutral news. It's still kind of liberal lean, and I think everybody knows that. But it's supposed to be completely fact based. I find so often when I'm reading these articles, I'm scrolling through so much of the article is just like, this person's opinion was this, or this person on this side said this, and it doesn't get into the specifics and the nitty gritty that allow you to actually figure out what the problem is. Like, it took me. The New York Times article didn't really cover the specifics of this migrant crisis, right? With the 150 days versus 180 days of asylum seekers going through applications. I had to look elsewhere to find that. So it's rarer than we think. More news outlets than you think are guilty of it.
Yep.
And so I don't blame any viewers.
Well, I think journalists have a different way of covering these things than we do, because we're not journalists.
No.
Honestly, what we do for a living is we're analysts. We're data analysts. We're data managers. We're data scientists.
Yeah.
That's what we do for a living. So we come at these problems differently than a journalist does. A journalist goes, okay, what do you think? Oh, you think that? All right, let me write down what you think. Oh, what do you think? Okay, let me write down what you think. And then let's combine both of those, and okay, I have a neutral newspaper.
Sure.
That's not actually neutrality.
No.
Neutrality is saying, okay, well, this is the problem. Let me isolate this. Let me try to figure out why this problem is happening. Let me go look up some research papers, and let me try to build the case to understand what is actually causing the issue.
See, I'm not sure. I think it might be neutrality what they're doing. I think the difference that I would describe is it's not independent thinking.
Oh, that's
it's
better.
It's the opposite.
Yes.
It's thought aggregation with no bias towards the thoughts because you don't want to do the independent thinking.
Oh my God, I'm going to start calling mainstream media the thought aggregators.
Yeah, that's all they are.
That's
right?
perfect.
And it's like, okay, I'm going to aggregate only these people. I'm going to aggregate only these dumb people on the other side. and then we're going to throw that at you, right?
And then we're going to be neutral, and
Yes.
you're gonna learn both sides.
Mhm.
What is the actual root of the issue here? Where's the analyst to show you exactly the data and to show you how to solve these types of problems?
Exactly.
It's not existent.
No.